Hey everybody, welcome to Writing the Lights Out, Episode 7. I am P.T. Hilton. This week, I'm working on the novel. It's going pretty well. I'm about 58% done with it. Projected length. When I say these percentages, I don't know exactly how long it's going to be. I'm kind of estimating. But it's going well. So today what I wanted to talk to you about is the freedom of first drafts. So in this writing process of this book, kind of a mantra I've been saying to myself a lot throughout the writing is it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be done. So I'm really giving myself the freedom to, with this first draft, no pressure on myself. In the past, sometimes I've thought, oh, this is such a great story in my head, I've got to get it down perfectly. But at this time, I am really giving myself freedom to, just get it down there. I can go back and fix it. No one else is going to see this first draft but me. And so it's really freed me up and taken some of the pressure off. In fact, there's so many things that are changing throughout, and I'm not going back and fixing those things until later. The second draft I will. For instance, there's a family in the book that at the beginning of the book they have two kids, and about 20,000 words in, I thought to myself, man, the second kid is kind of cluttering things up and kind of unnecessary. So then I just started writing it as if they had one kid. That second kid had never existed. Then I got to about maybe 40,000 words, and I thought, you know what? That second kid could really play a neat role in the story. And so I started writing that kid back in. So through different parts of the books, their numbers of kids is changing. Obviously, I'm going to have to go back and fix that later. But that's the freedom of first drafts. Along with that, another thing that I'm doing very consciously is not going back and reading what I've written so far. Um, in the past, I've always wanted to go back and kind of see how the book's going, get a feel for it. I do go back and read what I wrote yesterday before I start writing today, just so that I kind of have a feel of where it was going and keep the same tone and all that stuff going in today's writing. But I don't go back and start reading from the beginning or from last chapter. Um, Two reasons for that. Well, two things I fear that if I were to do that would happen. Either A, I would get really depressed and be like, oh man, this is not as good as I remember it being. This is not as good as I thought it would be. Why am I wasting my time? And I would kind of get depressed about that. The other side, flip side, is maybe I would love it and I'd say, oh my goodness, this is so great. This is better than I thought it would be. And if that happened, I would, first of all, there'd be a lot more pressure on me that I've got to really stick the landing here and do a great ending because the beginning's so great. And also, if I read those first couple chapters a bunch of times, it kind of gets kind of canonized in my head, and later when I'm doing the editing process, I can't change anything because I'm like, oh, this right, I've read it so many times, it's just cemented in my mind. I can't change this. This is how it starts. I don't want either of those things to happen, so I'm not going back and reading anything. The other kind of cool benefit of that is I'm really looking forward to finishing the novel so I can go back and read it through start to finish when I am prepared to do my second draft. So kind of the plan is once I finish the first draft, give myself a little bit of time. I'll probably write a couple short stories or something in between, just to take my mind off it. Come back, give it a second draft, and then I'll start sending it out to some of my test readers, that people that I trust, to give me some honest and critical feedback. So that's all in the future, though. We'll talk much more about that, I'm sure, when the time comes. For now, that's about it. Head over to pthilton.com. I got a review this week on my Wednesday blog of Frank Turner's new album, Tape Deck Heart. I like it a lot. Check that out. And, of course, you can go over there and check out the little word count widget on the right-hand toolbar each day to follow along with my daily progress. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you next Friday. In the meantime, keep writing the lights out.